Southampton reject Liverpool's second offer for Romeo Lavia. Could Liverpool be going back in with a third offer, or could they be turning their attention to another midfielder elsewhere? Also, Levi Colwill of Chelsea signs a new long-term deal with the club, seemingly putting an end to any speculation surrounding his career. Harry Kane, that is again the saga that continues to rumble on this summer. Bayern Munich and Tottenham seemingly met in London yesterday for talks over the English striker's future. Could a resolution be fast-paced or put into the fast lane for that one? Ousmane Dembele attracting the interest of PSG. There was a clause in his contract that was active until midnight last night. But could there still be the deal on the horizon there that will see Dembele leave Barcelona for the French club? And anything else that we are set to talk about in this? Dusan Vlahovic. Could he be going to Chelsea? There is seemingly concrete talks, concrete advancement in that potential story. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Yes, we are talking an all new news video yet again. It's an all new news situation yet again. Talking all the biggest and best headlines from the world of football, including, of course, all the ones that I talked about at the top of the video. And, of course, the ones that you guys want to talk about in the chat as well. So, like always, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. And as well, get in the chat like Ballum has here. How you doing, bro? Hope you are well on this Tuesday afternoon. Can't stay for too long. Here we go. No problem, dude. I appreciate you coming along, however short or however long it is. Is Kylian coming to Liverpool? Possible outside chance for now. I saw the rumours linking him with a loan move. Look, didn't buy it. Normally, with that situation, I'd at least entertain the idea and maybe put out a video and talk about it. Was not going to even entertain the idea of Kylian Mbappe coming to Liverpool. As much as I would love to see it, and as much as I think it would be incredible to see, there was absolutely no way, in my opinion, that Liverpool were ever going to make a move, buy or loan for Kylian Mbappe. We could probably afford him and probably would pay for him to be available for us for half an hour at most before we went, nope, too expensive. Let's look elsewhere. Liverpool need Lavia in ASAP. Well, this is what we're going to be starting off with talking about. Romeo Lavia, the player that Liverpool have been strongly linked with for a large part of this summer, a player that obviously has attracted a lot of interest from elsewhere, not just from Liverpool, but from the likes of Arsenal as well and Chelsea. This is a guy that was head and shoulders with the rest in Southampton. Go back on previous videos that I've done and you'll hear more of my thoughts and my opinions on this Lavia transfer that could potentially see him become a Liverpool player soon. The latest is that, according to Melissa Reddy, Liverpool's second bid for Romeo Lavia has been rejected, and that the deal was somewhere in the region of like 40 million. That was a bit less up front, and then maybe a bit more in add-ons, seemingly hitting the 42 to 45 million pound mark, allegedly. That has seemingly been rejected today. Whether that was tabled today or in previous days is not quite clear. But Melissa already went to Twitter to say that Liverpool have tabled an improved bid for Romeo Lavia, but are concurrently exploring a deal for other options. Andre of Fluminense among them. We'll talk about him a little bit later. If Southampton's valuation remains excessive, new offer closer to asking price, but still below an initial 40 million without add-ons. So it does seem that Liverpool have put in an initial bid with money up front being below 40 million, with the add-ons taking it above, is what I'm getting from Melissa already there. About an hour or so ago, Melissa Reddy took to Twitter again, said that information from the Southampton end is that the improved offer has been rejected. So that was confirmation of that. And then she went on to say that Liverpool have officially made contact with Fluminense over the possibility of signing midfielder Andre. So following on from what she said earlier. Goodbye to Fabinho and Jordan. Harry Kane won't be surprised if he stays at Tottenham. Bayern are trying. Victor from Napoli to Saudi Arabia. We shall see what could happen. Yeah, we'll talk about Harry Kane a little bit later on as well. Vlahovic is one to keep an eye on. We'll talk about him as well. Melissa Reddy is reliable. She does the Liverpool transfer stuff. Yeah, she's one of the ones that if you are to maybe take legitimately and have some element of truth towards, 9 times out of 10, Melissa Reddy is where you are set to go if you want your Liverpool stuff. Can you sing LA, LA, LA for the viewers? I will sing it with people around me, but I will not sing it on my own because that would be, I'd completely butcher that song and Liverpool would probably not want to sing that anymore. Virgil van Dijk is captain, Trent Alexander-Arnold is vice captain, Andrew Robertson third captain, and most likely Salah is fourth captain. Yeah, it's the kind of hierarchy that I predicted. I couldn't really tell apart whether it would be Trent as vice or Robertson as vice, but that's kind of the hierarchy and kind of ladder that I kind of thought it would be. I think Alisson might be like fifth captain or something. I know that he's obviously been captain before, so I think that will obviously fill that quota out as well. Something that I predicted and something that obviously makes a hell of a lot of sense. Thiago is injured. Is it time for Liverpool to sell him or keep him? I think as far as his experience goes, whether it's on or mainly off the pitch in terms of his injuries, I think we may need to keep him to run down his contract. Plus, I can't release if he is genuinely injured and depending on how long that injury is for, we probably won't be able to get rid of him anyway. So we'll have to keep him anyway. But going back to the Lavia thing, like I say, we need to put the money on the table. We need to put the money on the table. Like preseason is slowly getting away from us. We are a couple of weeks away, maybe less than a couple of weeks away, a week and a half away, it seems, from the beginning of a brand new Premier League season. And the longer this drags out, the less he's going to have time to bed in. He's going to have to play a very difficult role. And we know that obviously the baseline of Jurgen Klopp's overall philosophy and tactical analysis and everything is that midfield area. It's what holds Klopp's tactics and his philosophy all together. He's going to have to play a very vital and key role. We saw how much it took for Fabinho to bed in. Now, it won't take as much for Lavia to get used to the Premier League and get used to the English top flight division because he's already been there. He's already been there and done that with Southampton. But he still will have to get used to obviously playing with his teammates. He still have to get used to playing in a different sort of system, a much more high-profile system, a much more intense system, shall we say. And it's going to have to be something that he's going to get used to. And the longer this drags on, the less time he'll have in pre-season to bed that in and to ingrain that into him. Plus, he is only 19. So I guess you could say maybe the youth aspect of that may seem like whatever he's going to be taught and whatever he's going to be told will sink into him more so than maybe a more experienced player. So he can soak that up like a sponge. Like it might work out in that aspect, but at the same time, I still think that we need to get this done and dusted and over the line if this is what we are genuinely going for. I've said time and time again, I don't think this is the perfect replacement for Fabinho. I don't think this is the perfect signing for Liverpool overall, but it is a very good signing nonetheless, and it is a very good signing that you can see he'll do a job for the here and now, but more so for the future. And you can see that the more he will grow, the more he will gain experience, the more he will grow into that role, the more he will get better, and he will continue to evolve and to continue to elevate his game from that point of view and from that point onwards. Like like I say, whether or not we can get this deal over the line and done with is going to be another thing. And then you've got this Andre stuff that is going on that obviously Melissa already put out today. Is this an alternative or is this another midfielder as well as? The interesting part about this is that, of course, Fluminese's league obviously doesn't end until December. I would imagine if he's a big part player over there, I don't know anything about this guy. I don't follow Brazilian football, so I can't sit here and lie and say, I know this guy. He does this, he does that. I don't even know his stats on FIFA. That's how I don't know this guy. But what I can say is if we are genuinely in the market for this guy and because he's coming from South America, we must definitely be on board and we must definitely be convinced by this guy. But what I will say is like I say, Brazilian league finishes in December. If he is a big part player over there, they'll probably want to keep him. That could make the deal a little bit more complicated. If it isn't to make the deal a bit more complicated, do we say we get him at the end of the season? Do we buy him now and have an arranged transfer for later on in the season? And if that is to be the case, does that mean we still go in for Lavia? Does that mean we have the money for Lavia? Does that mean we still go and get Lavia for the here and now and then Andre for later down the line? And maybe could be, I don't know, maybe the Thiago replacement. I know he's a midfielder. I know that much about him. Is he going to be that Thiago midfielder, as Ballum sort of put in the chat, with Thiago being injured? And of course, with entering Thiago's final year of his contract, maybe that is to be the overall case. So it could be a replacement, but it also could be an alternative to a potential incoming as well. Liverpool won't sign Levi Colwill. Chelsea, who play in Fulham, look to keep him for a long-term contract. We'll talk about Colwill a little bit. That seems to be laid to rest as of last night. I think Liverpool will get Lavia in soon. I think they will. I think a deal will be struck soon. There doesn't seem to be a doubt in my mind that there'll be a doubt soon. I know there is talk about Chelsea still lingering in the background, and there is talk that they're still monitoring the situation. A number of journalists are saying that is to be the case, that Chelsea are not out of this yet. They are obviously focused on Moises Caicedo, but could obviously turn their attention to Lavia should Brighton continue to play hardball in that deal. But I would strongly suspect Liverpool get this deal over the line. We just need to get this deal over the line as soon as possible, in my opinion, because not only will it benefit Lavia and then, of course, benefit the team as well, but it will benefit Liverpool in terms of their other transfer policy, because I still believe we need to get a defender. We still need to get at least one centre-back in or a right-back in this summer, depending on which way round Klopp wants to play Trent Alexander-Arnold this season. So I think it'll have to benefit that just by moving quickly on this. Still can't believe how Fabinho move happened. His wife proper made the low-key transfer happen on the day. And I think we still could have got more for him, to be honest. I think we still could have got more for him, but there you go. Did you know there is a Red Bull team in Brazil? They're getting around Red Bull, aren't they? Wonder if they'll tackle they'll probably have like an Asian market, and they've got obviously the European market now, and that's interesting. Like, I had no idea they had a team in Brazil, to be honest. South American players have flair and all in how they play. Yeah, I mean, we've seen some incredible South American players over in the Premier League down the years that have shown the kind of flair, skill, and just heart and determination and the sort of tenacity and the determination to play football. Like Liverpool had Luis Suarez. Like, honestly, probably the best player that in my lifetime I've seen playing a Liverpool shirt. Obviously, Gerrard aside, and like Gerrard will always be my favorite. But as far as like just natural and technical ability goes, Luis Suarez, in my opinion, like unbelievable how great he was. And elsewhere in the Premier League, like South American players, Alexis Sanchez during his prime at Arsenal was unbelievable, and you know, so many others from up and down the Premier League as well from that South American bracket. Just incredible players. Bobby Firmino, quality. I know, obviously, he was brought in from Hoffenheim, but still Brazilian. Raul Jimenez went to Fulham. Could be a good move for him. He does need a change after a bad head injury. I think Mitro will leave. The player wants money there. Yeah, the Jimenez one is interesting. He obviously hasn't been the same since that horrific injury, which is very, very unfortunate. Maybe a change of scenery and a change of club could do in the world of good. It sometimes can be that way with certain players. So fingers crossed for him on that one. We'll have to wait and see. And on the Mitrovic thing, it does seem like Jimenez is being brought in to be his replacement. And it's smart by Fulham, Premier League experience. But is he going to properly replace? It is a bit of a gamble. Now that we've seen him come back from his injury and he's had a few years back from that injury, he clearly hasn't been the same. And it's just whether or not it's going to be a complete replacement for Mitrovic if he is to leave and if he isn't to be convinced to stay at Fulham. David Raya is linked with Chelsea, Arsenal, and he's a good player. That looks to be definitely be moving on. Robert Sanchez is another one who could be on the move. Well, Sanchez is being linked with Chelsea. That's what I heard. And then David Raya to Arsenal. I talked about Raya to Arsenal a few days ago, but it seems that Chelsea have moved on with Brighton from the Caicedo talk into the Sanchez talk for now. And we'll see. I mean, the Sanchez one should be easier to get done than the Caicedo one. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Some Liverpool fans aren't happy with going Conor Bradley being back because he is young. Interesting. It's an interesting one with Conor Bradley. It's an interesting one with him. We'll obviously have to wait and see what the plans are, but yeah, it's a strange one. I don't know whether he was like injured or what the case with him was, but interesting one, that one. Southampton fans want James Ward-Prowse to stay. I think he might, unless Liverpool panic sign him as a homegrown rule thing. Yeah, I don't know whether it's just that I'm not in the same circles that I'm hearing stuff or reading stuff, but I've not really heard much about James Ward-Prowse in recent weeks. Obviously, there was links with Liverpool at one point. There was links with the likes of West Ham at one point. I think he'll stay at Southampton. And attempt to bring them back up at the first time of asking for next season. So we'll wait and see on that one. Liverpool should have 7 homegrown players needed for the season. I think we currently have that. I think if we add Lavia to the mix as well, I think he counts as homegrown. So I think we're okay for now. We're just scraping through that bracket. Adama has strength, very muscular, as you know, free agent. Does he fit at 1 or 2 teams in the Premier League? There'll always be a case for him. There'll always be a team for him. Don't think any of the top 6 would take him right now, but a free transfer. I know a team in London who likes to take free transfers. Daniel Levy at Tottenham. No, anything from, I think, Tottenham downwards, he can do a job for. I think he can do a job for. He's annoying because he's a bit like St. Maximin, in my opinion. He'll have a very good game where everything is perfect for him, and then the next few games he'll be very inconsistent. He's got power, he's got strength, he's got speed, but his final product is just very inconsistent. Chelsea definitely want many Brighton and Hove Albion players, it seems. Well, this is the thing. Occasionally, you'll find that a team will go after players of another team, and they'll go after them in their numbers. You remember when Liverpool had the same issue with Southampton, and we got bantered because it was like, "Oh, Southampton are basically Liverpool's B team." Well, it seems that Brighton are now Chelsea's B team. If obviously that logic is to work out, so yeah. We'll see what happens with Brighton and Chelsea, but of course, there's been a lot of transfers between Brighton and Chelsea the past couple of years alone. Chelsea definitely won. No, I read that one. England women are now in the last 16. Are they winning this? Is it coming home? Long way to go, of course. I didn't watch the match. Saw the update on Twitter. I've not really watched much of the Women's World Cup, to be honest. But I know they are doing very well. I know they absolutely battered China today. They've got a very good chance, haven't they? But doesn't it tend to be USA that are dominating the women's game when it comes to World Cups and stuff? So long way to go, but we shall see. Liverpool like Southampton, Supermarket FC. Yeah, a Twitter meme called them Supermarket once. I'm glad Liverpool didn't take part in the Premier League series stuff in the USA. Not my thing to want Liverpool to be there in this next season. I don't know. You never know what to make of preseason. Like, obviously, part of it now is marketing, which is why they go out to different places, which is why we've gone out to, like, Singapore and Thailand in recent years and stuff. Many people obviously go out to USA because, big country, it's part of like a holiday kind of thing, as well as obviously training and stuff and getting your fitness back up. So part of it is marketing. Part of it is for the preseason stuff. Many people will say you're playing teams that you're going to be playing in the Premier League, so it's a good test for you, and it's a good test for the youngsters that you're going to be experimenting with to obviously put into that squad and to put into that environment. I don't know how much you can really read into preseason, to be honest. I don't know. You shouldn't discount it completely. But I also don't think by that same logic, you can really read into it too much. So we'll wait and see. Profit marketing, Wrexham in League 2 went USA this summer. I mean, obviously, they're exploiting with obviously who they have as their owners and obviously what they have and the power and the influence that they have. They're exploiting that to the best of their ability, and who wouldn't use that superstar powerful influences that you have in Joe McElhenney and I can never pronounce his surname. I'm really stupid. And Ryan Reynolds. Why wouldn't you use that power and that influence and that marketing and promotion over there? And Dortmund, nice win the other day. A lot of defensive mistakes in that game, but a very nice win. Again, how much you can read into that, not so sure. Take care, mate. Take care. Appreciate you coming by, bro. Appreciate you stopping by. So thank you very much for that. Nice to interact with you again. And I'll see you in the next one, bro. See you in the next one. Take care, my dude. Have a good one. So, Liverpool need to get this Lavia deal done and dusted, in my opinion. I think a third offer will be probably enough to get the deal done. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see on that one. Next story, we're going to come to Levi Colwell. Ballum previously mentioned it in the chat about Colwell and about how speculation has seemingly ended on his immediate future after penning a new deal yesterday. According to David Ornstein last night, Chelsea have agreed a new 6-year contract with Levi Colwell. Deal has yet to be signed, but it is now in place and commits 20-year-old left-sided centre-back to Stamford Bridge until at least 2029, seen as having a massive role for club and country. Now, this is a player that we've talked about a fair amount in this transfer window so far, attracting a lot of interest from the likes of Liverpool and Brighton. But, of course, with Chelsea having this player, they don't want to leave. They don't want him to leave. We mentioned that he could be used as maybe a bargaining chip to maybe bring Moises Caicedo the other way. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore. He seems to have committed his future to Chelsea, and fair play. He could be a very big... there's obviously a lot riding on him. There's obviously a lot of expectation and a lot of demand from him. Jordan Hyman, hey, dude, how are you doing? I'm going live today to do Premier League table. You doing your predictions this early, bro? You doing your predictions this early? Interesting. Or is it just you going through them so far? Would love to know, dude. Would love to know. But yes, Levi Colwell seems to have committed his future. he's going to be big for club and country. I mean, David Ornstein says it there. He is going to be big for club and country. You can see the reputation he's building. You can see the heads he's turning, and he turned a lot at Brighton this past season, and of course, previously at Huddersfield as well the previous year. You can tell that there's going to be a lot riding on this guy. And of course, when you impress the likes of Brighton, who have got a good eye for talent, of course, and of course Liverpool, who were chasing him for most of this summer, you know you're doing something right. You know you've got a big future ahead of you. He seems to have committed his future to Chelsea, which means they seemingly have promised him to break into that senior squad. And I think with the injury to Wesley Fofana, I think things may have obviously escalated a little bit there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Levi Colwill going forward. But I think it could be a very, very big season for this guy going forward. So we'll have to wait and see on him. Sorry, just reading this latest on Vlahovic. Yeah, just checking out the rest of Vlahovic. So yeah, Colwill signs a new deal to signs a new deal with Chelsea. That is taking place. That is happening. I think it's a solid move by Chelsea, tying down a long-term investment that is going to be a big part player, and hopefully a big part player for club and for country. Obviously, got a lot of expectation and a lot of potential to his name as well. 20 years of age, so probably could be your starting defender for the next 8, 9, maybe even 10 years. Obviously, assuming he wants to stay at the club, but that has seemingly put an end to any and all speculation surrounding the young defender. He is staying at Chelsea. Next up, we're talking Ousmane Dembele. Ousmane Dembele of Barcelona. A couple of days ago, this news really broke that Dembele was wanting a move to PSG, and according to Fabrizio Romano, Dembele said yes to a move to PSG, wanting to leave Barcelona, and apparently personal terms and everything else and a verbal sort of contract was all agreed there. There was the story of a clause in his contract that said up until the end of July 31st, yesterday, there was a clause in his contract that stated that 50 million was the price tag he could leave for. Once that day was over, the clause would go up and double to 100 million. Well, nothing was agreed yesterday, but according to, let me just find it so I'm not, according to Romano again, he posted earlier today on Twitter saying, Dembele clarity, PSG have not activated La Liga 50 million exit clause for Ousmane Dembele, expired and now valid for 100 million euros. By sending formal letter to Barca, PSG activated a private clause. It makes Dembele available for same amount, 50 million. Deal to be sealed by the end of the week. So it seems like he could go for 100 million, but PSG would only pay 50 or something along that. I mean, I'm not exactly the best at this, so I'm not great with knowing this. But Romano has just tweeted saying Barca will get more than 25 million euros from Dembele, but less than 50 million. So there's some sort of weird clauses and some weird contract stuff going on or in regards to Ousmane Dembele. But it does seem he is going to be on the move, and it does seem that that move is escalating and accelerating pretty quickly. Not so quickly that they couldn't have done this done and dusted yesterday with the whole 50 million release clause active, but quickly enough that PSG will get their man Luis Enrique will get his man. Was Dembele there when Enrique was at Barcelona? I just want to check this actually. Did Luis Enrique sign Ousmane Dembele? Just want to check this because I want to say he did. Because I know that obviously he's key right now to obviously wanting Dembele and Dembele wanting PSG. But obviously, I don't think he was actually now. I said, when did Enrique leave just after the Champions League final? I think he did. Either way, it does seem Enrique is obviously strong on this guy. He wants this guy. Dembele wants to move, and you know what? It might do him the world of good. Again, we say this a lot with players, and that a fresh start will do him the world of good. But it might actually do Dembele the world of good. He arrived at Barcelona with a lot of potential, a lot of expectation. There was a monumental, massive fee from Borussia Dortmund, of course, that brought him over from Germany to Spain. Massive, monumental fee that obviously brought with it a lot of expectation, a lot of demand from the fans and from pundits and fans alike. A hell of a lot. And he never quite lived up to expectation. There were numerous injuries that started his career. There was other things that were going on seemingly behind the scenes as well. But he never quite hit the level of high in expectation. And he was always seen as a bit of a flop. And whilst he did some good stuff here and there, and let's face it, he's not exactly leaving without a wealth of experience or any kind of silverware. He obviously won multiple amounts of silverware at Barcelona, so he's not exactly leaving empty-handed. You got to think that maybe he could have had more, maybe he could have done more, and maybe obviously, maybe there could have been more to him. Maybe there could have been more to him at Barcelona than there previously was. Maybe that is the case. Next up, we come to a story that was buzzing around yesterday in regards to Arsenal. Now, this one was very intriguing because apparently Arsenal were eyeing up a move for, I can never pronounce his name, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. We're going to run with that and hope that that is the best. I deeply apologize if I butchered his name. I can never pronounce his name. Now, good name if you're playing a game of Scrabble. Other than that, this guy obviously set alight Serie A last season. Him alongside Victor Osimhen was one of the most deadly partnerships in Europe last season. And that is why they both spearheaded Napoli to their first Scudetto and their first their first Serie A title in a number of years. Arsenal eyeing him up, seemingly interested. But let's face it, I imagine a lot of clubs are interested in him. We obviously know Arsenal are still searching in the market, despite obviously paying a lot of money for the likes of Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Jurrien Timber. They are still in the market searching for players. We talked about David Raya intriguing Arsenal and being on Arsenal's radar a few days ago. There is, of course, Mohamed Kudus as well. Now it seems they turn their attention to Kvaratskhelia of Napoli. But according to some Arsenal fans a few weeks ago, Mbappe wouldn't have even got into their team. So how is Kvaratskhelia going to get into their team? Why are they paying so much money to buy a bench warmer? No, I'm joking. Of course not. Quality move. This will be a quality move. It would add strength and depth. It would add something different. This guy, like I say, properly lit up La Liga last season and the Champions League as well. playing for Napoli. He absolutely tore Liverpool's defence and Trent Alexander-Arnold apart in the couple of games that I watched, with obviously him playing against Liverpool. Interested, intrigued, no doubt about it. If this move is to go ahead, this would be big for Arsenal. I don't think it necessarily will. I think it's going to be too difficult a move to pull off. But of course, we have talked about Kvaratskhelia before. He was attracting the interest of Newcastle. Talk seemingly gone a bit quiet on that since obviously Newcastle signed Harvey Barnes. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what is going to be happening with Kvaratskhelia going forward. I, for one, am very interested to see what happens with this guy. So I'm very interested, very intrigued by that potential news story there. Harry Kane. Should we round things off with Harry Kane? Is that all I want to talk about? I think that's all I want. Oh, we want to talk Vlahovic as well. We'll talk Harry Kane and then we'll talk some Vlahovic. Harry Kane, basically, there was meant to be a meeting last week between Tottenham and Bayern Munich. That meeting was postponed to Monday. Apparently, they did meet yesterday, Tottenham and Bayern Munich, to discuss Harry Kane. And not a lot's really happened in terms of a major breakthrough, but it does seem that Bayern are growing ever more confident that a deal can be struck between the two clubs for the signing of Harry Kane. And from there, we will wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens there. We'll wait and see if anything does accelerate from this point forward. But yeah, it does seem like things are moving in the right direction. Bit slow as of right now. I am going to put a video out on Tottenham. I've done a couple of videos over the past few days in regards to Arsenal and Aston Villa, talking about or just briefly looking at how they may what they may do this season in terms of their expectations and things. And the videos are done pretty well. So I think I am going to do a few more in the build up to the season on a few teams. I might not do every team, but I might do a few teams. I might do Man United. I might do Liverpool. I'll definitely do Liverpool at some point. Might do Luton as well. See what we can expect from Luton in the Premier League this season. But Tottenham are definitely ones that do intrigue me as well from the outside looking in. So probably do one on Tottenham as well going forward. So we'll wait and see, obviously, if a breakthrough can be made on the Harry Kane situation. But of course, until that point, he remains a Tottenham player. Whether that will be the same come the beginning of Tottenham's season or at the end of the transfer window remains to be seen. Next, this Dusan Vlahovic thing. This is really accelerated today in terms of attracting interest from the likes of Juventus, from Chelsea. He obviously plays for Juventus. This one has accelerated a lot from Chelsea. Juventus are wanting Romelu Lukaku. Don't know why. I genuinely don't. I don't understand why, but obviously Chelsea want to shift Romelu Lukaku. There could be a potential swap deal there, and Juventus are seemingly insisting on it, upon it, according to Fabrizio Romano. They seemingly want some sort of swap deal, but the issue is that they feel that Chelsea should put some money towards it as well. And according to Romano, Juventus want Lukaku and 40 million for Vlahovic. Chelsea are still seemingly discussing this potential transfer, this potential story. But it seems that personal terms won't be an issue. It seems Vlahovic will be open to the move. It seems that all the moving parts are there to make this deal happen. But it's whether or not Chelsea will agree to the demand of the structure of the deal being 40 million and Lukaku. Now, we know that Chelsea obviously want to get rid of Lukaku, and we talked about Lukaku a number of times throughout this transfer window, how he might be going to Inter. Move broke down there once they found out he was obviously toying with the idea of maybe going to Juventus and seemingly entertaining Juventus's offer. So talks broke down there. There was obviously Saudi Arabia's influence on this, and seemingly the possibility of him jumping and going to Saudi Arabia. we shall see on this. We shall see. We shall see where this goes. We shall see where this one goes. But Vlahovic is definitely one to keep your eye on going forward. I think it's smart by Chelsea in some ways to get this done, especially if you can get it for a cut price of 40 million, give or take. And of course, you shift on a player that you don't want anymore. I think it would really beef up their striking options. And Chelsea go from having no strikers last season to then having two in this transfer window. Nicholas Jackson in pre-season has certainly looked decent. Like, again, I don't think you can read too much into it. And the proof will be definitely there when we all see it in a more competitive environment in terms of obviously the Premier League restarting and everything. But Nicholas Jackson seems like a decent striker, and like I say, I think he's certainly impressed me, and I think he's impressed a lot of Chelsea fans with his preseason performances. But Vlahovic, a guy that has obviously been heavily raved about and talked about a lot these past few years, linked with the likes of Liverpool, not Liverpool, Arsenal, obviously Chelsea, before he obviously made his move to Juventus. And like I say, seemingly on the charge and on the move going forward. So we'll wait and see on this deal. This one is definitely one to keep your eye on. We shall see how this one develops. But like I say, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. This seems to be a good opportunity to wrap things up. Talked a lot about certain issues and certain players. Good to be back again after a few days of not doing one of these live streams. I think I might try and leave the new stuff after every couple of days or so to see if obviously fresh stories give new light, and may just do some other live streams in the meantime. I do want to do a Liverpool thing at some point where I just focus solely on Liverpool because obviously that's my club. But yeah, we're waiting to see if anything does materialize with that. Anyway, like I say, I'd love to know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, on any of these stories or any stories that you want to talk about for future videos or live streams down below in the comment section or in the chat, whatever it may be. I'm sure it'll make for interesting and great reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things always and forever greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video / all new news live stream. I will see you and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever the hell it will be. Cheers, guys. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for staying. Thank you for getting involved in the chat. And I will see you and speak to you all again soon. Peace. Have a good day.